Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from South Hadley, Massachusetts. I'm your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Coleman. And he offers both public and private tours of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various streets and parks in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
And this is part of the first tour I ever made.
Okay, and today you'll be educating us on the Spillway 3. So tell us about this South Ray Street area.
All right. Now, Spillway 3 is the connection between the second level canal and the third level canal. And you needed a spillway because the difference in height between the two is 12 feet. And so that's why it's spilling water down to a lower level. Now, there used to be so many mills in this area. You used to have a cluster here, probably the second cluster ever of any on the canal system of Holyoke. They knew it was a great place because you could build races or tunnels below ground, below the mills, and connect many different geometries between this node or this cluster. And so you would have mills develop here, and I'm going to tell along the way what some of the mills that were there and what happened here when they started to leave, and you had the need for something here, what came around, and why it seems to be very abandoned in this section, even though it's a very strong section. So this South Ray Street section used to be a part of Ray Street until a mill went in its position. But around this area was the Merrick, and that was the biggest of all. But you used to have races going from all different directions in second level canal, and they would go straight and then take a turn left or right, connect out to the third level canal. And so you would have at least 6 mills in this area.
So what mills are in this area and how did they use the canals?
The Merrick number 1 and 4 were in this area. The Merrick 1 used the canal. It was about 200 yards up to the north of this node between the second and third level canal near the Spillway 3. And it had its own large, enormous race, and that would then become exposed as it took a leg out of the Merrick 1 into the position where the third level canal started. This is a great place to look at because a lot of things coming in here, a lot of old-time mills were here. Now, what other mills were down here? Germany was down here, and they were using a race that was coming out of the extension of the second level canal, and then it would divert over first to the east and then back to the north, and it would do a drop of 12 feet, but Germany was able to use that drop. There was also the far up Halcott Mill number 2 here, and it took water out of the second level canal and put it right into the third level canal with a short race. There was the Holyoke Paper Mill, which was small, but it was the third mill ever on the Holyoke canals, and the first in this cluster, of course. And it had a tiny race from the second level canal, which took one. It didn't take any turns. It reappears in the big vat that's to the northern side of the start of the third level canal. Then there were smaller mills like the Connor Silk Mill. And in the distance, you're able to see the Berkshire Yarn Company, which is above the first level canal. And then also in the distance, you could see the Parsons Mill, the Dickinson Paper Mill. So there's a lot in this area.
Now, quickly before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to find out more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there he has both videos of the various stops along each tour and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you're interested in setting up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. and they are perfect for fun and educational outdoor activities for the whole family or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. They are also good just for getting outdoors for the day. So getting back to our interview, what has become of the mills?
All right, most of the mills have disappeared, and that's because of two reasons. They're getting old, some of them. Remember, the Holyoke Paper Company I was here was the third oldest mill ever in Holyoke. And it was made, I believe, in 1856, and so at some point it disappeared. Now, there was the Germanium 1 and 2. The Germanium 2 is left, Germanium 1 is gone. That's gone for a different reason, because in 1981, Interstate 391 came right here, and it would have been right above the Germanium number 1, so they had to take that down. There was also the Far Alpaca Mill number 2, and that was probably taken down for the same reason that the interstate was coming through. It was too close to the edge of it, and they didn't want people going there. The others, the Connor was probably taken down on its own. The Merrick 1 is still there, and it's still used for some retail, and some businesses are in there. The Berkshire Yarn Company's is in the distance. The Parsons, mostly burned down. There's a bit of it left. The Dickinson's in the distance. So you can see you have a mixed bag of some of the mills still there. But compared to what was here, most is gone. And that's very sad, because this was the second cluster ever of mills in Holyoke. It's a very powerful place.
Is there a power station here?
Yes, since 1955, Holyoke, then the Holyoke Water Power Company had put in an electrical station, and they put it right where the Holyoke Paper Company was, which was taken down in the 50s, and they put up a very small electrical station, which has a turbine, and it's a hydroelectric turbine. So it takes the water from the second level canal, which drops 12 feet, and it comes downwards into a vat to the north of the start of the third level canal. So it's one of the many power stations here along the canal. There's a lot of them. This is one of the least powerful, but it's still important. And you can actually see right at the Spillway, you can see a little power building, and you can see wooden boards trying to stop the water. So it's a mix of old-fashioned and new-fashioned to get electricity.
So thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours, and we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can also tune into a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website, which again is holyokecanaltour.org. And again, you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming 2024 season tours and more as they become available. Thank you for tuning in.